Hello and welcome to Seagulls Social, Season 2, Episode 26. We are your boys, Maz, Ben and Ryan. And of course, we by popular demand, we got asked not to do this podcast today. However, we are
talking about. We won 3-0. Shane Duffy scored a hat-trick. Let's just pretend that we won the game. Just do a podcast pretending we won the game.
No, Sanchez was on fire, mate.
Defence was on fire. Brick wall in front of Sanchez.
Unfortunately, our love for this club actually blinds us to this, so we actually have to. We're actually obliged to do this. And also, actually, do you know what, boys? I don't know about you, but for me, it's a nice little venting session. I just let all my anger out, or let my. It
makes a nice change, actually, doesn't it? We haven't had this kind of episode for a long time to actually talk about how awful we were. So it's quite a nice change, to be honest, if we're looking at the positives.
Look at the positives way after that. Right, boys.
Glass half full, glass half empty.
Exactly. Right, Ryan, kick us off, mate. I know you're at the game, so it's probably the best. You're the best.
Fucking boo!
Go on. Yeah. What were your thoughts generally on the whole game?
Can I just say before I go into the game,
Go on.
So you know how I always remember last season, the birthday curse thing? Right.
Oh yeah.
A week today is my birthday, boys.
I think it's still the curse. Oh god.
I'm just saying. I mean, it's not technically my birthday yet, so maybe we can let that one slide. But I'm just saying, Aston Villa could be a shambles. Right. But before we get anyway, it doesn't matter. So yeah. The booing thing. Let's just do that first, because that was just ridiculous. Obviously, half time, there was boos, and there was most at the ref. To be fair, a lot of it was at the officials, and that's fine, right? I'm not saying that. Let's just get that bit out of the way, because I was getting called like under the club's thumb and something ridiculous, saying that you can't boo because Ryan had said so. Was another one like, shut up. I'm just saying, like, all I'm saying is, don't boo the team. It's just how are you expect them to react? You're thinking they're going to do better. I don't know how you think that booing them is going to make them improve, or you're a fan, you get behind the team. That's what you do. We've been through worse than this, But yeah, I was purely aiming that tweet at people that were booing at halftime towards the players, towards the manager, whatever, not towards the refs. Like, that's just silly, because why would I don't care what the refs are. It's nothing to do with that. It's just purely at the team, because I just think it's stupid. How can you boo the team? We're in the best position we've been in ever in our history. We've had a very, very good season. The whole team's pretty much played well. You could hardly say a player in the whole team for the whole season's been poor. We were in a really good position. So to boo the team is just... It's ridiculous.
Yeah, my view on the whole booing thing is simply like, fair enough, if we've gone, let's say, I don't know, because we went through that run where we didn't win for like 2-3 months. Like, why weren't people booing then? Why weren't people going crazy? Well, they booed at Leeds, didn't they? They booed at Leeds, and we had the same thing. I know, and also, at Leeds, you're right. And then, but also, like, for me, after one bad performance, I don't understand the booing. Like, if there's like 5-6 performances where they've been crap every game, I can then maybe understand why fans would be frustrated and want to show that by booing. I might understand it more, but after just one poor performance, after we beat Watford as well, for me it just doesn't make sense.
The thing is, right, the way I look at it is, I've never ever booed the team in my life.
Yeah,
like every game I've ever been to, the bad days, I've still never booed the team, right? So this was probably up there with one of the worst losses at the Amex, 100%. Like, this is up there, probably 4th, 5th placed as to, this comes up there with Millwall, this comes up there with Bournemouth, this comes up there with Cardiff.
For some reason, I felt the Cardiff one felt that was worse than, because that was literally like 3 days after losing 5-0 to Bournemouth. It was,
I agree.
And we were struggling as well, weren't we? Like, the league.
And the Millwall game always comes to mind every time with Hippier. It's the thing that was nail in his coffin. So it's just those one of them days, isn't it? I think the only way to really say about it is what Adam Lallana said. To be fair, he was very honest in this interview. Graham Potter was very honest. Look, we've just got to move on. It's just one of them days. We can't like, dwell on this for the rest of the week, because otherwise we're just going to go lose to Villa. We've literally just got to draw a line. We've had a very bad day. No one was good. We just got to move on. Like, it is as simple as that.
I hate to compare us to Leeds United fans. But like, just watching them play Man United yesterday, like, they're 4-2 down, they're still singing as if they're winning. It's you've got to like kind of applaud.
That's real fans.
That's not just Man United, by the way. They do that quite often.
Yeah.
So like, sometimes you do have to hold your hands up and say fair play.
And also,
it's hard to make a whole stadium suddenly have that sort of mentality to keep singing and cheering, especially when we struggle to get the East and West singing.
I did see that. I saw a few people like, oh, why don't we have the same atmosphere as Leeds? It's like, well,
you can't just change it like that.
Yeah, it doesn't just happen overnight, lads. It might start with you singing and actually getting involved a little bit, and then you might see some progress. But and also as well, I thought seeing Aaron Lennon pull back the years, I was like, this just epitomised
what the fuck, mate?
Like, what a goal! What a goal!
Jay Rodriguez, Weghorst, and Aaron Lennon absolutely caused us so much trouble. It's like the most random front three you've ever seen.
Weghorst was on fire. He was absolutely on a field day. He was just dominating us every single time he got the ball.
Before the game, we did say before.
Yeah,
caused trouble.
He was really clinical in Dortmund in the Bundesliga, wasn't he? But he just destroyed us. And to be honest, I think, obviously we did miss Duncan Webster. I'm not going to put it on Duncan Webster being out because we've still got a squad there to be able to play a Premier League football match. There's no excuse. To turn up in the way we did was embarrassing. Like, from start to finish, we were a shambles. I mean, to be honest with you, actually, I'll get into that because the first minute, I think it was, they'd already had like 2 corners. I mean, we were right up against it from the beginning. And I was just saying to Dad, like, my dad was like, this is going to be like one of them 90 minutes you're never going to get back, isn't it? And we said that like 7 minutes in, and it just set the tone, didn't it? It was just one of them. It felt flat. It was a horrible day. It got absolutely soaked, and the ground was pretty much empty, and we lost 3-0. I mean, to Burnley. What's good about that?
Do you think it's either who are you blaming here? You're saying it was just a complete off day for all the players, or do you think it's Potter's fault for maybe putting that back four of a pretty weak centre-back pairing of Veltman? I think that those two together, Veltman and Duffy, are 2 weeks.
It's never going to work, four. Was it?
I feel like we should have. I know it's against Burnley, but they had come in a bit of form against the recent performances. I think they maybe were a bit too naive and underestimated them. Like I feel like it should have been a back five, even if it was with Hayden Roberts as well as Veltman and Duffy. You're still just that bit more secure with a guy like Weghorst. That obviously now the Premier League know what he's like, so I don't think people will be a bit too naive on them.
Ben, if you want to dig it deeper, then you could say, well, surely it comes down to some transfer business. Getting rid of Burn, getting rid of White. These are 2 really good players that we've let go of, versatile players that we've let go of, and not replaced them because we've been told we've got plenty of young players to come up through it. Instead, we've put Duffy and Veltman in. That's not what we've been sold. So I don't know. I just think I put it down to poor transfer business, if I'm honest. And that I think reflects onto the squad depth that we've got now. I don't think we've got. Last season I put it on. We could have had Lamptey, we could have had White, Dunk, Webster, Kukurea as a back five.
That was nuts.
Unreal. Unreal. Yeah. But instead we've got Veltman and Duffy at the back. Duffy's past it. I'm sorry, he is. And there's no disrespect to Duffy's time here. I've loved Duffy, but he's past it now. He's a Championship player now. He shouldn't be in the Premier League anymore. Veltman is okay. He's consistent, but he's not a leader. He's not going to be, if Duffy's having a bad day, Veltman's certainly not going to have a good one. So that was sort of our problem. Kukurea probably had one of the worst games I think he's probably ever had in his life. He was probably Burnley's best player.
Mark and Aaron Lennon as well. Mental.
And I think Lamptey was just too scared to take anyone on because I think if he actually left them on his own,
McNeil was brilliant against him. To be fair,
he was good, but I think that Lamptey just wasn't taking anyone on. He just felt like he just didn't trust the defence behind him.
He got a few times, didn't he?
That too.
Tackles. So on the centre backs, before I forget, I know Webster's have been a bit inconsistent in recent games. I heard one of the commentators saying, I think we've only won 1 game from the 10 that he's been.
Like 10, wasn't
missing.
it? Yeah, it was Shearer said that, I think.
Which is not. Yeah, that was it. Shearer, match of the day. And then obviously with Dunk out as well, it was just never really going to end well. I don't know if Duffy's time is over, but I think he was just he was kind of found out against a pretty nasty forward line like that, and especially the pairing that he was in.
I think Duffy struggles with a back four. If you put him in a back five, he's got 2. They always talk about systems. Maguire struggles with 3 and etc. But for me personally, you see him in a back three, he usually looks quite comfortable because he's got 2 other people covering him. Yeah. Whereas when he's with just a Veltman, for example, because let's be real, Veltman as well, I don't think he suits a back 2 as well. I much prefer him in a back 5. So I don't know. I just felt like them 2 in a back 4. Just for me, wasn't the right choice. Right.
I think the trouble is now we've got even if we had a back 3 out of them 2 defenders and we didn't have Webster, we had Dunk because Webster's always injured for seemingly. So if we just had Dunk in there, right, I still don't think we would have been very good, because last season, as I say, we had quality in the back. We had quality. Like White, Webster, Dunk was one of the best trios of defence in the league. Whereas now, that's not quality anymore. That's just people covering each other. And the chances are that's probably Dunk covering the majority of it. And the Dunk's not even come back that strongly. And I don't agree with the fact he's finished, but he's not even come back that strongly. So we haven't actually got the quality anymore. And I'd say, to be honest, our best defenders are currently out on loan now. Apart from Dunk and Webster, obviously. But I think in terms of direct replacements for sort of like Webster-esque sort of players, Van Heck, they're out on loan. We need them now, and we don't have them.
One question, and I've asked this multiple times now on the pod, I think past few weeks. Why is Hayden Roberts not getting a chance? Like, if he's good enough to be in the matchday squad, surely he's good enough to be given a chance. That's how I look at it. It's like, why is he always on the bench? Why is he always in and around the matchday squad?
They obviously don't trust him. Potter doesn't trust him somewhat, for some reason.
Why though?
I don't know. Maybe he's not ready. I think if he wasn't ready, why would you keep him but get rid of Van Heck or get rid of Ostergaard? When Ostergaard, I thought, has proven that he is ready for the Brighton team. I thought if
anything at the beginning of the season, if out of those two, I would have put my money on Hayden Roberts going out on loan and Ostergaard being more involved.
And everyone was saying that Ostergaard's like, future captain material. He's an absolute monster in the air. He's good with his feet, and he was really impressive in pre-season. I really liked
against Rangers, wasn't he?
And I thought we've actually got ourselves our Ben White replacement right here. This is Ostergaard. He's only 21. He's younger than Ben White even. Looks really good. We get rid of him, but we've kept Hayden Roberts, who, I would have said, if anything, if Potter was going to be really bold, because he can be at times, take Duffy off and put Hayden Roberts in at half time when he pushed Sanchez and they've both had a little fallout. Take him off, get him off the team, and put him in, because I just think we've got nothing to lose anyway. We're going to lose. Just put him in, like we did with Ferguson. We brought him on because they're 3-0 down at the time.
Yeah, that was quite strange. You think out of all the times where he's had an opportunity to bring Ferguson on, when we've maybe been a bit comfortable, maybe against Watford, could have brought him on at the end there to be a bit more comfortable. But bringing him on against Burnley when we're 3-0 down or whatever, I think he literally just came on after they scored their third goal.
I don't know. Actually, just before.
Well, just before that was it. Yeah, it's literally like 2 minutes before. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I don't know. I think that's quite tough on Ferguson to bring him on, thinking he would like to make a change, but I don't know.
I'll tell you another talking point actually, and I'll start this one, is Yves Bissouma, and I think everyone knows my thoughts on Yves Bissouma. I'm not a big fan of him. I like him as a player. I don't really like him anywhere else. But I think his head's gone, if I'm honest. I think he's off in the summer. And people were saying, you can't say that after a couple of games, and we shouldn't be so entitled to expect him to clap him off, that sort of stuff. But I stayed to the end of the Burnley game, and I wanted to watch everyone come off the pitch, and that's what I did. And we had, I think it was Mope. Mope seemed like he really, really appreciated the fans that did stay behind, and probably the post-match stuff was probably the loudest that Amex was all day. It was really loud, people singing out. I say really loud, but for what was left of it, singing Albion. And we had like Mope. Who is the other one that went around literally every corner? Duffy did, to be fair. Veltman, I'm pretty sure. But it was Cucurella and Bissouma just walked straight down a tunnel. And I get that you want to get out of it and you feel like the ground wants to swallow you up when you lose 3-0, but I would rather you just come out, brave it, and thank the fans for at least sitting by and watching you play. Like, we've sat there giving you support. We haven't gone. We've stayed here. Yeah, fair enough if you're referring to the fans that leave and talk rubbish on social media. That's fine. They've left. They're not relevant. But the people that have stayed and watched you can't even give your appreciation. Like most people, if it's an away game, there was an away game as well. And they go to watch you play.
Wasn't it Man United? Bissouma ran off the pitch. Apparently Cucurella ran after him and didn't go to the fans as well.
Man United away. People have travelled 6 hours-ish to go to Manchester on an 8:15 kickoff on a midweek game, and you can't even give them not even 5 minutes of your time just to applaud the fact that they've made the trip to watch you play. Like, that is pathetic. I'm sorry, it's pathetic. And I'm not saying that we're entitled to, fans, sometimes players have a bad day, they want to just get out of it, and I get that sometimes. They don't think about it. There is times where that's applicable. But I think 2-3 times in a row now, and I'm not saying about Bissouma as a player, but I do think it's now starting to affect his performances. He just doesn't He just doesn't look half the player. Since all the allegations, I think, yes, he had a good game against Tottenham. But I just think really, overall, he's really not been the same player since all of this come out. And it's particularly in the last few weeks since the transfer.
I think the last couple of games he's been a bit off it, but I don't know. His performance has never really dropped. His performance has never really dropped after the allegation. I just think the past few games has been a bit like that.
I just feel like his head's not in it anymore. I just think since the transfer window, I think he just wants to... And I don't blame him in a way. You know, you're good enough to play for a bigger team. But I think if there's any bit of business that probably we should have done, it was letting go of Bissouma in January. Because I think now, if you're going to not give the... If you're not going to... I'm saying bold though. Wait, let me finish it and you can talk about it.
Yeah, go on.
So I think overall, right, if you're not going to be bothered, and this doesn't just apply to Bissouma, this applies to anyone. I said it when Liam Brigcutt refused to play. Like, this isn't new. But I mean... If a player just looks like he's not bothered, get him out of the team because they're not any help. Just drop him for a couple of games. Against Villa, we need players that are actually going to care. Because against Burnley, it really didn't look like many players cared. I mean, we had Lallana giving a bit of it. Like, he looked like he actually cared that we lost. Mope looked like he actually cared. Alexis McAllister cared. But other than that, it was just everyone's heads dropped after 2 minutes. And it just didn't look like we wanted it. And I think that was the problem. It just looked like everyone's heads were on the floor. And Potter said the same. You know, he said it comes down to him, but I think a lot of it does have to, the players have to take responsibility too. The head's dropped, and that's not down to Potter all the time. It is down to Potter a lot of the time. And I think he'll accept that too. But I think it just looked like they weren't bothered. And the ones that aren't bothered, I don't think they should play versus Villa. I'd rather have, Villa aren't on a good run anyway, but I'd rather us put out a team of players that are actually going to at least try than a bunch of players that are going to accept a 3-0 defeat and then walk off the pitch after a 3-0 defeat. I'd rather just not... I don't want to see them in the team next week, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Sorry,
anyway. I think just on the whole Bissouma thing, like, for me personally, I agree with Ben as well. I don't think, like, since the whole allegation thing, I think his performances have stayed up. But, yeah, like, against Tottenham, obviously, he was amazing. But then the past couple of games, he has been poor or below his best.
He was certainly poor against Burnley.
Yeah, he's bad against Burnley. And then I just feel like, I don't know what it is. Like, I don't want to defend him or anything, but like, I feel like, players do go through dips and they go through bad form. And is that just like, if it carries on, like, if it, like, next game he's terrible, etc., then you can maybe have an argument of like, okay, yeah, his head's gone, he doesn't want to play for us, blah, blah, blah. But I think he's always shown passion for Brighton. He's always shown that he loves Brighton as a club. Like, he knows the club stuck by him through all these allegations, through these tough times. And like, I feel like he does have that affinity with the club. I know he didn't clap the fans last game, but like, I'm like, for me personally, I'm like, is it that deep one game? Like, I know he done it twice, but like, is it that deep for like everyone to be calling for his head and like,
the thing is, even if he goes and claps all the fans next week, now it's not really going to mean anything because he'll have just been doing it off the backlash.
I think looking at it, he's had maybe a season and 3 quarters of consistent good games. He's had like a couple off days. And a couple of days where he hasn't been up to it. I'm not disrespecting him as a player. Can I just say? I'm not disrespecting. I'm saying he's obviously, and again, like Lallana said, like people, they're human beings. He's obviously really disappointed in himself, and sometimes people just react. I mean, I'm only playing devil's avocado. People just like sometimes react differently to situations like that. He maybe can't hack the fact that he's had 2 poor performances. One against Man United, who he's been linked with so much, probably trying to perform at Old Trafford well. Yeah, had 1 decent half, and then obviously all went to shit. He had a goal that he got dispossessed for a goal at Man United. They scored from it. And against Burnley again, when Jay Rodriguez, he lost a fucking battle with Jay Rodriguez, put him on the floor, and then put Aaron Lennon through. So 2 goals were kind of down to his mistake. And yeah, I'm not saying I'm not saying he has every right to walk down and not clap the fans. Players should clap the fans. That's the least they should do. But I'm just saying that's just his mentality.
And also as well,
deal with things like that.
Also as well, like you see, like was it Ronaldo does it every fucking game? Whenever they lose, he's literally straight down the tunnel. It's like, I get it. It's not good. I'm not saying it is good, but like, let's keep the same energy. If I know I'm not saying Ronaldo and Bissouma on the same levels, but let's keep the same energy. Like if people, people don't.
Bissouma's above,
Yeah, people don't seem to be doing that. But anyway.
Yeah, but I don't care about Ronaldo. I mean,
no, of course, like, I know. But I mean, like, I'm just using him as an example. He doesn't really get called out as much as, let's say, you know, I don't really see a lot of people go, oh, Ronaldo, he didn't clap the fans. I don't really see much of that.
With Brighton, I've always stood by the same opinion. So, like, as I say, with like Liam Bridcut, when he refused to play, he was linked with Sunderland. I remember it, and he didn't want to play for us. I'm not saying he's done the same, Bissouma, but I'm just saying, you know, I've always just wanted a bit of appreciation. You know, you spend your time and money to go to these games. I got absolutely soaked wet yesterday. The day before, watching the absolute garbage, and I was just saying to everyone around me that was left anyway, and we were just like, why are we still sitting here? Why are we doing this? Because we're silly. We're football fans. This is what we do. We sit through these rubbish times, and we still applaud them off because that's what we do. That's what football fans do. Not the ones that go and slate them all, and I'm not doing that. Because it's very easy to come in here and slate the whole team today. But I'm not going to, because obviously it is a bad day at the office. And the ones that do care, and showed they do care, and I'm not saying all the players don't care, but I'd have liked to see the heads not drop after the first 5 minutes, because it was really poor. And I think most fans would probably agree with that. I don't think too many should disagree in that. The least you want is just some, you know, players that aren't just going to be like this. I mean, it'd be like, you know, if I was filming something and then, I don't know, it goes a bit wrong after the first couple of minutes and then my head's just down for the rest of the podcast. Like, what's the fun in that?
It didn't look like that,
at least try and look like I'm trying to, you know.
It looked like we were destined for that loss, really, after the goal. Like, even when it started, they were just like pressing us and you just thought, God, they're bang up for it. And even like in the build-up of the previous podcast, we were saying, like, we break people's ducks all the time. Weghorst gets his first goal. You know, Burnley, what have we got written down here? They had prior to the game, they'd only scored 17 goals. And then against us, they scored 3 goals from 4 shots on target. Like, when have they ever been clinical like that? Banging goals. We should probably talk about the goals because they are great goals. Start with the first one. Really good goal. Like, Weghorst, unbelievable finish. I don't know if Sanchez could have done much about it. Defensively, I don't know. He kind of pulled away just on the edge of the box. Good striking ability. And then the second one,
the second one for me. That was not good.
That's awful.
Not good. The first and third goals were good, but the second goal was just a shambles. Like,
Duffy lost his head.
Duffy lost his head.
He got beaten by Weghorst, Sydney. Like, you think he's about to head it back to Sanchez, and then Weghorst like bodies him out of the way.
But then Brownhill, I felt like Brownhill got into the box way too easy. Like, I think
his first Premier League goal. His first Premier League goal. Like, what the fuck, honestly.
Didn't Brownhill score? Do you know what? A really random memory, and I might be completely wrong in saying this, but Brownhill sits in my memory. Because Bristol City, wasn't it, the game we should have won the league at the Amex? We had all the flags and everything, and Brownhill was the guy that scored.
When he was 2-0 or something like that, or 1-0, I don't know, something like that.
1-0, I think.
1-0, yeah.
Yeah, and it was just an awful day. But yeah. No.
And even the third, so like I said, Bissouma loses the ball. I think Lennon's touch to take him away from Cucurella is so... I don't know if he meant it. If he did, it's unbelievable. He's such a great touch and sets him so well. And obviously the finish into the top left corner.
Yeah,
like
great finish. It was
Aaron Lennon, mate. He was playing football when I was like a baby. I swear down. Honestly, I was the same height as him when he last scored a goal in the Premier League, surely.
The first and third goals, I've got no qualms about. They were just good goals, and like I was very confused seeing a Burnley side score very good goals. I was very like, is this Burnley?
To be fair, like they've actually been like pretty decent. I can't lie.
I wasn't surprised.
Yeah, I went on the thing last week and I was obviously saying they're a pub side, and without Sean Dyche, they are a pub side. Let's be real. I mean, they took how many fans to the Amex? I couldn't even
200.
I couldn't even tell you. Probably probably 400 or 500, I'd say. I mean, it's a poor turnout in it from Burnley.
Yeah, I think it was about 800, they said.
They really are.
It is a trek, though, isn't it? It's a trek on like, what was it?
Yeah, but we'd take... Who many do to to Burnley?
A couple of thousand? I think we took a couple of thousand. They only had 16,000 people at their first home game after COVID or something
like that. It's awful, isn't it? That's what I mean. They're just a bit of a nothing club, and that's what I was saying about the whole Sean Dyche thing. If they ain't got Sean Dyche, they are a nothing club. I mean, they are. The same applies to the likes of, like, I don't know, Southampton or something. They're just nothing clubs. But that doesn't change the fact that I'm not. It's true.
Southampton aren't.
I love how you're keeping this energy after a 3-0 loss to Burnley.
Oh wait, no, hear me out. So the way I'm saying it, is because everyone, and I expect it to be fair, and I always say, people attacking me at this actually, like, fair enough. But people were obviously attacking me after that, saying if they're a pub team, then what are we? I'm saying, without Sean Dyche, they're a pub team. You know what I'm saying? Without Sean Dyche. And to be honest, the pub team reference doesn't even have any applicability. Like, it doesn't actually make a difference to how they perform on the pitch. I'm just saying they got no fans and their ground's horrible.
Weghorst took it personally.
Got no fans, got no ground.
yeah, Weghorst watched the podcast. Yeah. But I just mean like...
Can you imagine if he lifted up his shirt like Balotelli, it says, outside.
Who's the pub team now?
Mate, we would be funny, officially actually. Massive.
Yeah, I'd have respected
Seagulls Social.
I'll celebrate with him,
honestly. But yeah, I don't even know. But yeah, my point is, to be fair, Burnley play very well, and it wasn't a classic Burnley performance. They were genuinely very clinical.
Yeah, mate,
they actually played some decent football at times.
Here's the XG. This surprised me. It's the first time XG surprised me for a few Brighton games. So our XG was 0.6, and theirs was 0.62.
Wait, really? What, for three goals?
No, yeah, for 3 goals.
I swear you got that.
Mad.
No,
well, theirs was like 1.2 something, wasn't it?
Was it? I thought it was. I've got 0.62 down here.
Wait, let me have a look. Let's have a look. XG philosophy. I swear, because I saw someone tweet about us. Where is it? Crystal Palace, mate. Brian. Oh no, you're right. Yeah,
0.62 and they scored 3 bloody goals.
That's impossible. Is that not impossible? How does that work?
Well, it's not, because they were good finishes. Well, apart from the second one. Yeah. I mean, the second one was probably so low because it was so ridiculous.
Because the first one, 3 defenders in front of the goal, and somehow still managed to make 18 deflections and then Sanchez, I don't know.
And it went under Sanchez's body, which was just I don't even know how he let that in.
Someone goes, I'm just looking at the quote tweets of the XG philosophy, and someone just goes, "What is this terrorism?" And then someone goes, where is it? Potter is so fucking shit. Oh my days! But that's just Twitter for you, isn't it? That's just Twitter for you, isn't it? But yeah. Anyway, moving on.
Oh my god! I saw Potter outers as well. No, it was actually Potter outers. Yeah. I'm gonna get it up. I can't remember the kid's name.
At this point, I don't care because
they've got to be trolling, surely.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. It's just an attention-seeking exercise.
It's got to be. Hang on, I'm gonna get the tweet up because I quoted it.
There's no way there's anyone out there.
We had 68.9% possession, and honestly, with that, what did we do? We literally just passed it about. We could not break them down for love nor money, and it was just so dead to watch. It was so awful to watch.
Here you go.
Hopefully that game's just an anomaly, and we won't have to deal with anything like that for a long time.
Kieran G.
Nuts.
Potter out. Here you go. Potter out.
And calling him out.
I'm not calling him out, to be fair. Like, if that's what he thinks, then fair play. But I just find it a bit strange.
You've given him what he wants. He just wants attention, and you've just given it to him.
Yeah, sorry, Kieran. Yeah, sorry. I've actually given you
that's what he wants. That's what he wants. He just wants... He's doing this for bites. He's doing it for attention.
It worked, Kieran. You rattled me, mate. I was fuming after that game.
It's worked.
You've done me in, mate.
I think we just got, like a lot of people have said, we've got to put the game behind us now. It never looked good from the beginning, and even pre-match it never looked good. And then you see the team that came out, you just think this team hasn't really got enough to win.
That reminds me just quickly on that. So when I see like that starting lineup, right, I was just confused a little bit. Why, for example, why did Trossard not start? Like if he's not injured, why didn't he start from the off? And then like I just feel like sorry, this is my point. Sorry, I went a bit off piece in my brain there. So my point was, right, I just feel like we don't have consistency when it comes to that starting 11. I know obviously Dunk being out was out of Potter's hands. He couldn't do anything about that, and the defense had to change accordingly. But for me personally, every game we don't have a consistent lineup. Like I want to see us like I know Liverpool. Let's say during AFCON, they obviously they were missing Salah and Mane, but they still kept that core team. They might swap it, maybe a defender here and there. But like
I'm so jealous of Liverpool.
We chop and change too much. Like in my opinion, we just don't have that consistency in the team. Where every week, right? Okay, we're gonna have X, Y, and Z starting for sure. And I just feel like he just switches up a bit too much. And I know sometimes it's out of his hands, but I just feel like, where's the consistency? Why are we not having a stable sort of 11 week in, week out, and we can just build from that? Like you'll see, I think, a very considerable change.
I think it's just the formation thing. Like I remember someone said a mental stat we had we had changed formations during the season, including during the match, 132 times. I think someone had counted this season alone. Which we have the players to be able to do that so consistently, and which is why we normally do so well, because we can change formations so quickly in a game. I think even against Watford, I think we changed it multiple times, and it works. I feel like that's because we've got such great depth and so many different players that suit different formations and roles. I think that's probably why we don't have that classic starting 11 like teams like Burnley do.
Yeah, I'm not saying we have to have the same 11 and the exact same formation each week, but I just feel like sometimes like every week there's a completely different side, not a completely different side, but there's a few players like, you know, like Lamptey's in 1 week, he's out the next. Trossard's in 1 week, he's out the next. McAllister's in 1 week, he's out the next.
How do you build consistency and form?
And how can the players then have that confidence? Like, okay, I could put a good run of form here. Like, you know, I can put a 3-4 game sort of run on and do well, and then. I just feel like, sometimes, and again, sometimes it's out of control. I'm not blaming it solely on Potter. Like, he does sometimes have injuries. He's got suspensions. You know, X, Y, and Z. There's a lot of factors.
And where was Webster though? Like, I think he was
injured. He pulled up, didn't he, against was it Watford? No, who was the game before Burnley?
Yeah, no.
He pulled up, remember? He pulled up right at the end.
Oh, no, United, wasn't it? United.
Yeah, United. Remember, he pulled up right at the end. He was out on the floor holding his inner thigh, I believe. He was on the floor. So, I think he was injured. I'm 99% sure.
Okay.
The thing is with Webster, it's like, he's a decent player. And I do like him a lot. He's just always injured. Like, always injured. And he's becoming a bit of a sick note now. He seems to be out too much now. And I don't not like Webster. I think he's a great player on his day. But when he starts to get back a little bit, he gets injured again, and you don't get to see the best of. I don't remember apart from like a few weeks ago where we saw the best of Webster, and that was after taking some time of getting back into the team anyway. And he had a couple of shaky games because he was obviously out. Then he's back, got good again, went down, and then got injured again, and now he's back to where he is because he come back, got injured again, and here we are. It's frustrating. It's not his fault, but it is annoying when, you know, one of your best defenders is always injured, especially when Dunk's out. And that's what I think a big problem of our inconsistency in defence is, because obviously Webster's out all the time. We've obviously sold Burn. We haven't replaced White, and half the other defenders are out on loan. Dunk's been suspended, and that's about it, isn't it? And I think who does that come down? Where's the fault of that? You know, there is some unluckiness in Webster, but then we should have known he was, you know, going to be taking injuries quite a lot. That should have been part of, you know, quite basic medicals, I'd assume.
You think selling Burn, you'd have it prepared to maybe recall someone, or surely one of like the 5 decent centre backs we have out on loan would have some sort of January recall. So you look at Matt
particularly
Clark,
like Ostergaard and Van Heck. Been
people like that. You think that they'd have some sort of recall, and to get rid of Burn and not replace him it's poor.
Especially when Van Heck, as you say, is we sent him out on loan, Van Heck and Ostergaard, knowing they're very close to being Premier League players anyway. You know, they're not far off it. 6-month loan would have even been, you know, fine. They probably would have been able to see the rest of the Premier League season out, and they would have been all right. Because now we go into Villa, and it actually leads us on to Villa, to be fair, so we could just do that if you want.
Yeah.
Because I'm a bit worried, if I'm honest. And it's not because of Villa. I know Villa notoriously beat us, and notoriously on my birthday is never great fun.
I was about to say, I've got a great stat for you. I know I love my stats. We've only beaten them once in the last 9 games. So
get in.
That was the 2-1 win away when March scored the winner.
Yeah, and that was in COVID, so it doesn't really count anyway. So, yeah, I've got to be honest, I'm not looking forward to it when we've got a team who drop their heads so quickly. We've got a player who's not very happy. We've got one of our best players injured. Dunk's back, but we don't have defenders, really. And that's a bit worrying when you come up against Coutinho and Danny Ings, etc. Ollie Watkins.
The confidence of Duffy and Veltman won't be great, surely, after the Burnley display. I mean, you could even argue Lamptey and Cucurella's heads might be dropped. Or maybe the whole team for
Lamptey should have his head higher, I think, of the two of them.
A bit worse.
But Cucurella is going to be... Yeah, I always loved Cucurella, but God, that he was shambolic against.
On a positive note, Villa have also Villa lost to Watford at home in their recent game, and I think they lost their game before that as well, didn't they?
Yeah, Newcastle.
So they've got 2 wins in 10, haven't they? And I saw a Villa fan put on saying 2 wins in 10, but it's okay because we've got Steven Gerrard. And I didn't actually realise it's actually true, isn't it? The media don't pick up on it because it's Gerrard, so we're not going to slate him. It's the media. Yeah. You don't actually realise that until oh my God, Villa have only got 2 wins in 10, so they are there for the taking, and we know that we are good enough to beat them, 100%.
And I can't be too negative because, as you say, it is one bad game, whatever. It's a bad day. We've got to move on. And if anything, it probably should make the players be up for this one, because you don't want to have a day like you did against Burnley. Otherwise, Villa after that is going to be a lot worse. The reaction's going to be even worse, and the Amex is going to be somehow emptier than last time. So I don't know. I'm trying to clutch at positives here.
3 p.m. kickoff again, even though it didn't work in our favour in the last game.
It is, isn't it?
At the Amex at home, we've got
to win.
We got.
And I know that Andy Naylor hates the phrase must win.
It's not a must win, but it's
for confidence is a must win.
I know, for Europe, I don't think that's very achievable anymore. Looking at Wolves, they didn't even necessarily play well against Leicester yesterday. They still got a win. They've got 3 games in hand against us. It's not looking great for that.
But that's what we were doing.
That's also a point someone made. I hate to get away from Villa, but someone was saying, like, what are they fighting for now? Like, relegation's, we're going to get relegated. We can't, Europe's a bit out of reach. Is the motivation just finishing in the top half of the table, isn't it? Which can't be that motivating.
No, that is true. I completely understand that. We're 7 points behind Wolves, and they got a game in hand. So that if they win their game in hand, that's 10-point gap on Wolves, and it's just
and Tottenham won as well.
Yeah,
which
Tottenham
sort of puts them out of us. So. But
I
think the European dream's gone in it. That boat sailed.
It's a good point, Ben. It's a good
point. Finishing
ninth
is the.
But it's a good point, though, Ben. It's a good point you make, though. It's like, what do they have to fight for now? Like, we're not going to get Europe. We're not going to get relegated. So it's like, when it comes to the last 3 games of the season,
literally it.
Staff
bonuses
above Palace,
But staff bonuses they get. So however high they finish is just staff bonuses go up and up and up. No, that's always been the case. Like, even when we got promoted from the Championship,
I saw. It was,
but still, though, it's like, is that a big motivator?
Is that the motivation for players? Yeah, unless they're like fighting for the staff that they have relationships with and things like that. That's their only.
It's a clever way of making every employee, full and part time, feeling part of the Brighton progress.
Sorry. I didn't actually hear what you said. I was just looking at because you mentioned Palace finishing above Palace. They obviously lost their last game as well. We're 7 points clear of Palace. So I mean, it's very plausible.
That's the motivation there, isn't it?
Let's go back to Villa. Let's go back to Villa. So threats for Villa. Obviously Coutinho without stating the obvious. Without stating Coutinho is just Ramsey. I really like the look of Ramsey.
Oh yeah.
Oh, don't even. They've got such a good team, mate.
He's a great player. Terrific little player.
Tyrone Mings.
It's right, because they've got Mings, so we could just lump it up to him and hope he makes a mistake like he seems to always do.
Yeah, Mings and
Chambers. But no one I've said that he'll have a world game. He'll be a world beater against us. You just know he will.
Well, I think Conte is back because I'm pretty sure he was out suspension.
Of course. Get back for
Watford.
Us.
Yeah, he's class. So I'm assuming So Mings and Chambers started the last game, and I'm assuming that Conte would come straight back in for Chambers. I'm assuming. So it'll be Chambers
had a howler, didn't he? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
The game before?
They lost 1-0. So, but yeah, look, I'm just looking at their front sort of 6. Right,
their attack can cause us some serious problems.
Ings, Buendia, Ramsey, Louise, and McGinn. I mean, that's pretty solid. It's a very solid sort of 6 players, and they got Ollie Watkins to come off the Ollie Watkins to come off the bench, and Leon Bailey as well. So yeah, they've got attacking options.
We're finished. Season's done.
Finished.
Season's over in February. Oh my god!
Right, boys, let's wrap it up then. Predictions. Ben, we'll start with you. Predictions.
Jesus, really put me on the spot.
Villa at home. We've only beaten them once in the last 9 games.
Let's go for a 1-1 draw. 1-1 draw.
All right, not bad, Ryan.
That's positive, mate. Do you know what?
Positive.
Yeah. Let's try and think of a positive. Hang on, this is a good one. Mope, right? He's 1 goal off beating Murray's record of all-time Brighton scorer in the Premier League. And I think one of the teams he's always scored against is Aston Villa. Notoriously. Yeah. So, if there's anything to go by there, Mope's going to have a field day.
4-1 Villa.
Yeah. He's going to score.
Mope would have brought a record.
He'll also shoot 4 at the other end, yeah.
So, yeah.
3 own goals from Duffy, like that New Zealand female centre-back.
The thing is, they've still got Coutinho, they've still got etc. against Duffy, who's got no confidence. Dunk's got no confidence. Veltman's certainly got no confidence. Kukureya's got no confidence. And Lamptey's probably the only shining light in the defence. Sanchez has been god awful for a while now. So
go on, give us your score.
I don't want to be really negative, but it's really hard. Let's say 2-1 from my heart to us.
Yeah.
From my heart, because Mope's going to score and it's going to be a great day. We're going to turn it all around. They're going to be up for it. That's what my heart's saying. My head is probably saying 2-0 Villa, to be honest. But let's hope not.
Oh,
that's my head, not my heart.
I'm going to go with... I don't know. You know what? It's a tough one. I think both teams will score.
I'll get that in your records.
Yeah, both teams will score. I'll go 1-1. 1-1. Yeah, just to sit on the fence. Just finally, boys. Just before let's not get too much of it because I actually have got to go, I have to go a dash. But just quickly, Duffy and Sanchez obviously kicking off. We didn't speak about that. Yeah, is that something to be worried about? Do you think it's just one of those like isolated?
I think Sanchez would have him in 9 rounds. I reckon.
No, do you know what? It would actually be a sick fight. You know, I think
that would be a really good fight. Yeah,
I think it'd be a great fight. I
think Duffy would edge it. I'm not gonna lie. If he used his head, if using your head was all right, then I think Duffy would win.
Yeah, in the blue corner, weighing 185 pounds, Robert the Panther Sanchez.
Street rules, yeah. No, but I think it was just one of those isolated incidents, wasn't it? I don't think it's too to read into it too much. I think just spur of the moment, very heated.
It's just Shane Duffy lost his head. Sanchez isn't great, and I just think
it shows that they care.
Each other, really.
Yeah, it shows that they care.
I think in Potter's words, it wasn't their best moment. You know, the human beings.
Classic.
It's part of the group.
Classic Potter.
He's the best media trained manager in the world. I think.
I know.
Well, no, he's got that degree, hasn't he? Human psychology. Yeah, so he knows what he's doing when it comes to that sort of stuff. Right, boys.
He's a clever man.
Let's wrap it up. So, comments down below. What should we do this week? Let's do.
Just say who you think would fight. Who would win the fight between Sanchez and Duffy?
Yeah. Comments down below. Who would win the fight?
My money's on
Sanchez.
Duffy.
Do you know what? I don't know. Yeah, he's got the Irish in him, and he's got that fucking fighting spirit.
I just think Sanchez would literally dodge everything. I just think Sanchez would be like Muhammad Ali, just dodging everything.
Right. Okay. Comment down below. Yeah, who you think would win, and what round as well? Yeah, like how TKO, knockout.
The other night, actually. Decision. That's one positive about Saturday night. Was like that fight was good. Khan against Brooke.
Yeah, that was sick. That was actually sick.
And Foden's mum against some Scouser.
Oh my god, I saw that. Yeah,
Rudy's mum. Colleen or something.
Right, boys. Of course, everyone watching, please do like, comment, and subscribe. It really means a lot to us, as per usual. And if you're streaming on Apple and Spotify, keep on streaming, baby. And then finally, peace out, A-Town down, and we'll see you next week.
Peace.
Peace.